Welcome to Vienna, voted the most livable city more than 10 times in a row. Today we're going to find out if Discover Airlines is better than Lufthansa or just another leisure airline. We're at the Vienna International Airport flying Austrian Airlines in the newly rebranded Discover Airlines business class. We're connecting in Frankfurt and headed onwards to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. We'll show you all the lounges on our way and all the seats and offerings on Austrian and Discover. So enjoy, stay tuned, and let's get flying. We're really thankful that Austrian Airlines has a really nice business class check-in area since it's their home base airport. But since it's almost New Year's, there are a lot of people. We are headed through fast-track security, which by the way you can get by having one of these credit cards. I'll show you some life hacks how to get fast through security at every airport in another video. So I guess subscribe? All in all, there are the following lounges at the Vienna Airport: Sky Lounge at Terminal 3, the Vienna Lounge at Terminal 2, which is my favorite one, which you can access with multiple credit cards. And of course a bunch of Austrian Airlines lounges, which unfortunately are worse than the before mentioned. Today we're at Terminal 3 and headed to the Austrian Airlines Schengen Lounge, since it's included in our ticket. Well, it's nice, there is a nice panoramic window for plane spotting, there is amazing Austrian boulangerie, but that's so to Austria. Every tourist says that the bread in Austria and the quality of products in general is one of the best in the world. There was the usual selection of drinks. We chose a glass of sparkling wine instead of the usual Bloody Mary. I mean, it's 7 AM. So after sipping a relaxing glass of wine, we headed to our gate, which was not far away, but unfortunately it was a bus gate. We are seated in row 1 of the 6 business class rows in this Airbus A320. Well, if you can call it business class. But that's a problem with all the European carriers, since their business class is exactly the same as economy, except that the middle seat is blocked. Oh my god! Wow! The seats are actually pretty soft and the recline is good. I mean, compared to Ryanair or similar, it's a whole different story. But let's get to the best part of Austrian Airlines: their catering and service. That's just wow! Their catering, which is provided by the renowned company Dough & Co., lives up to their reputation. The flight attendants were exceptional and the food quality of a breakfast was amazing.
Oh yeah!
Well, after enjoying our amazing service on this 1-hour flight on Austrian, let's head to our not very favorite and huge airport in Frankfurt for a transfer to Discover Airlines, which is a subsidiary of Lufthansa and also based in Frankfurt. Frankfurt Airport is huge, so we needed 45 minutes to get to our next gate and through security and passport control, since it's time to escape cold Europe for something warmer, like Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. By the way, quick security line hack: just try getting into the business class line even you're flying economy. Usually nobody checks and nobody cares. There are a lot of lounges at Frankfurt Airport, most of them operated by Lufthansa. Other Star Alliance members are not present at Frankfurt except for Air Canada with their Maple Leaf Lounge, and of course there are some Oneworld and SkyTeam lounges, but I will talk about the differences of the airline alliances in another video, so
Subscribe!
We finally arrived at the Lufthansa Bistro lounge at the sea gates. The food offering is very similar in every Lufthansa lounge. During our stay there were some macaroni, potatoes and a buffet with the usual suspects. All the usual drinks, including a nice retro whiskey trolley. The lounge is spacious, though by far not the biggest, and offers a nice view of the apron where we could also spot our plane. As mentioned before, Discover Airlines just rebranded themselves from Eurowings Discover to Discover Airlines, with a change in livery, which our plane hasn't got yet. Alright, it's time to board our flight from Frankfurt to Punta Cana on this Airbus A330-200. There's a separate entry on the air bridge for business and economy passengers. Business class passengers board through the front door. there are 22 business class lie-flat seats, 17 premium economy and 235 economy. Since this aircraft was owned by Lufthansa, their business class cabin is identical and rather old. It has not seen an update for ages. As you might have noticed, they changed the livery of their pillows. What I noticed was this dirty storage compartment at the bottom of the seat and a glass splitter on the floor. Not acceptable, especially for business class. Nevertheless, the business class features a lie-flat seat with individual controls of different sections. You can also select the hardness of the cushions, which unfortunately didn't work 50% of the time. And as you can see, legroom is also pretty good. I'm saying straight away, I'm not gonna talk about the infotainment system a lot, since it's pretty much garbage. Here's a sneak peek to my next video on how to enjoy good movies on every flight. As we're about to take off, let's enjoy a glass of champagne and take a look at the menu. Since we're flying just before New Year's Eve, the menu is very Christmassy.
Happy Christmas!
But nothing special.
You shall choose thy movies and get thy cables ready.
The tray table folds out of the armrest and you can fold it in half, so it's easier to get out. Let's get it out and see what's inside the Amenity Kit. Freshly new design, new branding. Let's open it. Some moisturizer. Earplugs, headphone covers, ugly socks, toothbrush, definitely gonna need it, eye mask, cheap, hand cream, and peppermint. What's the point of this? Why should you? And now what? My arm is now Discover Man. Finally, it's time to enjoy our meal service. My appetizer today is vitello tonato with red onions and fried capers, accompanied by some fresh garlic bread and some delicious butter. Everything was delicious and was eaten in a glance. Well, until the ocean gave us a breeze and spilled everything. We even put our glasses in the middle of the table so we wouldn't get anything on us. So I'm sorry I didn't get to film the main course for you, but it was nothing to write home about. After that we were offered a delicious chocolate crumble or a cheese platter. And after being completely full, it was perfect time for the
Loo review.
Well, pretty small, but we have some disinfectant, some hand cream, and some disinfection wipes. After a proper 5 hours of sleep in our lie-flat seats, it was time for a small dinner, since our flight started at noon and we were going to land at around 7 p.m. We were served a Mediterranean vegetable tartare with some walnut-spelt ravioli and some other delicious sides. Finally, after almost 10 hours in the air, it was time to land in Punta Cana. If you're interested in our New Year's Eve celebration, our hotel and all the best things to do in this tropical paradise, subscribe and stay tuned for my review of this majestic island, which comes at a quarter of the price of the Maldives but offers almost the same. Do you think business class is super expensive, especially in the New Year's season? Well, that's where you're wrong. If you book in advance and get yourself a credit card which enables you to collect miles and you use them right, it's actually pretty affordable. We spent less on these flights compared to our last New Year's Eve trip from Vienna to Cancun in economy, which is almost exactly the same distance. As promised before, I will tell you all the simple hacks for traveling in my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for my video for the trip back, where I will review the Punta Cana airport, their only lounge at each terminal, and a more explicit review of the Discover Airlines business class product.